Well, 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 what do we have here? A fresh batch of punk rock meat, tuning in for another round of ghastly gigging and ghostly grooving. Good, 'cause tonight's show is going to be an absolute riot. And I mean that literally. You ever been to a punk show so wild, so chaotic, so out of control that you felt like the mosh pit had a life of its own? Well, turns out, sometimes it does. Tonight, my undead amigos, the Ramones are checking into a little joint called the Rumble Room, a place where the pit doesn't just take your breath away, it takes you away. Ever heard of Vicious Vince? Lightning flashes on the wall. It reads, "The final show of Vicious Vince, he never left." Oh yeah, Vicious Vince was the king of the pit, slamming, spinning, and stage diving like a madman. But one night, he went in and never came out. Now, he's got some unfinished business in the mosh, and let's just say, he ain't exactly handing out friendly high fives. So what happens when the world's greatest punk band meets a phantom pit boss who literally won't stop dancing till everyone's dead? Asterisk, can Joey, Johnny, Dee Dee, and Marky keep the beat and escape the pit? Or will this be their last encore? Asterisk, strap in, kiddies, this one's gonna be MOSH or Die. Episode 68, The Phantom Mosh Pit. Scene 1. Arrival at the Rumble Room. The Ramones arrive at a newly reopened punk venue called the Rumble Room, an underground hotspot for the wildest mosh pits in the city. The venue's owner, a tough but nervous guy named Sid Stomper, welcomes them. Sid Stomper, Ramones, you guys are legends. Thanks for playing here. But, you might want to watch your step in the pit tonight. Joey Ramone, why's that? Afraid we'll start a riot. Sid Stomper, I wish that was it. The pit's got a mind of its own. People been getting yanked in, like some invisible force is throwing them around. And last week, one kid disappeared completely. Johnny Ramone, you mean he got lost in the crowd? Sid Stomper, I mean, he vanished. Into thin air. Scene 2. Enter the Phantom Mosh Pit. As the Ramones set up for sound check, they notice something eerie. When the music starts playing, the mosh pit seems to move on its own, even though no one's in it yet. Suddenly, the air crackles, and a ghostly figure emerges, a spectral punk rocker with a ripped leather jacket, glowing red eyes, and tattered boots. The Phantom Mosh Pit has arrived. Phantom, the pit never stops. Mosh forever. A powerful force slams the amps over, and a ghostly gust of wind rushes through the room, knocking Dee Dee over. Dee Dee Ramone, hey, man, I'm all for a good mosh, but this is taking it too far. Marky Ramone, this place is seriously haunted. I ain't playing a gig where the crowd gets eaten. As the band looks on in shock, the ghost vanishes, leaving only the faint sound of a punk song fading into the air. Scene 3. Enter Killer Kane. Later that night, the band meets up with their old friend, Killer Kane of the New York Dolls, who has some insight into the venue's past. Killer Kane, you kids don't know what you got into. The Rumble Room? This place has history. Back in the day, it was the stomping ground of a kid named Vicious Vince. Joey Ramone, Vicious Vince? Killer Kane. Yeah, he was the wildest mosher in the scene. He used to say, a real punk never leaves the pit. But one night, at a legendary gig, he never did. Johnny Ramone, what do you mean? Killer Kane. I mean, he went in and never came out. Some say he got trampled, others say he just disappeared. But ever since, any show that gets too crazy, the pit comes alive. And Vince? He's still dancing. Scene 4. The final showdown. Determined to break the ghost's hold, the Ramones set up for their gig. But as soon as they hit the first note of Blitzkrieg Bop, the pit erupts, and not with normal fans. The Phantom appears again, pulling in innocent punk rockers, his ghostly hands grabbing at them as they struggle to escape. Phantom, the pit never dies. Thinking fast, the band starts playing one of the slowest songs in their catalog, I Wanna Be Your Boyfriend. The energy of the pit falters, and the Phantom screeches in frustration. Phantom, in a low, the pit needs power. Johnny Ramone, not tonight, pal. Joey Ramone steps forward, microphone in hand. Joey Ramone, Vince, listen, you don't gotta do this. Punk's about freedom, right? You're trapped in this pit, man. Let go. Find your next gig on the other side. The ghost pauses. The sound of cheering fades. For a moment, the club is silent, and then the Phantom nods, giving the crowd one last devil horn salute. His form fades away, leaving behind only a single floating safety pin, which clatters to the floor. Dee Dee Ramone, Punk's first relic. Sid Stomper, Guess the Rumble Room's back in business. Final scene. The Ramones rock on with the spirit of Vicious Vince finally at peace. The band launches into Rockaway Beach. The crowd moshes, but this time on their own terms. No ghosts, just pure punk energy. Off to the side, Killer Kane watches, arms crossed, nodding approvingly. Killer Kane. Now that's a show. Mystery solved. The Phantom Mosh Pit is no more. Phew. Now that was a show for the ages. The Ramones motioned with a ghost, slammed through some serious supernatural shenanigans, and still made it out alive. Barely. Well, most of them did. Looks like Vicious Vince wasn't ready to give up his throne just yet, huh? Guess the pit never really stops. It just waits for the next poor soul to dive in. So, what did we learn tonight, creeps? 1. Always check your pit before you jump in. 2. If you hear ghostly feedback before a breakdown, maybe take a step back. And 3. If some long-lost punk legend tells you to keep it going forever, maybe, just maybe, don't listen. Now, the Ramones may have escaped the pit tonight, but the tour ain't over yet. What's next? A haunted jukebox that only plays songs from the afterlife. A possessed drum kit with a mind of its own? Or maybe, just maybe, the rock and roll ghoul himself is getting closer. Guess you'll have to stick around to find out. 'Cause you never know who or what is lurking behind the next riff. Until next time, keep it loud, keep it fast, and whatever you do, gabba gabba ghoul.